Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. I know what this is. I haven't handled it yet, but I know what it is, and it's available, and it's got a pretty decent price tag on it. Thanks so much to Serge for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. So it'll be linked right down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that is entirely up to you. I'm really interested to see how it feels in hand, because this is one of those knives where when I saw the video of it, I couldn't really tell how big or how small it might feel, right? That's a fairly heavy box, so I'm going to say this is on the larger side. Maybe. Let's find out. All right. I've enjoyed essentially everything that Serge has ever sent me. It is on the larger side. Not huge, but definitely on the larger side. Yeah, okay. All right. That does feel like a full-size knife. Yeah, the action is also very good. Obviously, we have the Sergeness going on here. Now, usually when you think Serge, you think a cleavery something or other, right? Now, this is not that, but it's not like all of the knives he makes are, you know, cleaver shaped. So these are made by Real Steel Knives. That's who's the OEM. And I think the price tag is $150. N690 is all right. I think that's right around, you know, it's going to be similar to like 154 CM, and it's made by Bowler, but it's an okay steel. It's not a steel that I like to see on a knife that's, you know, approaching or over 200, but considering the quality, the size, and the fact that we're looking at titanium here, I used to have a lower opinion of N690, but it's just kind of a weird, you know, you don't necessarily see it consistently in, you know, or near budget territory. A lot of times you see it on knives that cost like $130 to $150, and we're looking at like G10 and steel liners, and then the N690 blade. But having it coupled with titanium and having it on a full-size profile, I don't think is bad. The detent is nice. The finish, actually the detent is very good. The flipper tab is also shaped and positioned perfectly. This is, you can absolutely push button it, but this is a perfect light switch flipper. So you get the full break. What I use to determine whether or not something is a good flipper, I want to feel like I know exactly where that detent's going to break, and then the amount of force that I'm applying before that break is intentional, or it just sort of goes along with, you know, the weight, mass of the blade, the shape of the flipper tab, and then the amount of force it takes to break the detent. It's almost like you know in your head how much force is going to be applied. So when you release it, when you break that detent, you feel like all of the force that you wanted to apply is going into the deployment. And, you know, is there an advantage there versus a bad flipper? Yeah, you could say it's going to flip reliably, but it also just feels good. It's a measure of quality sometimes. Of course, you have to have good tolerances, and it has to feel good inside the pivot, which it does. This is very nearly fall shut. It just needs a little bit of encouragement. I'm sure it'll break in over time. No double clutch, and great access to the lock bar thanks to this cutout here. It looks like that edge would be sharp. I was about to say I wish that he had carved that out a bit, and I think that would still help, but does it need to be? No, it's pretty knocked down. This is interesting that the titanium frame appears to be the exact same thickness as the blade. Is that actually true? Let's find out. Let's find out. So the tie frame, can we get a hold of it somewhere else? Maybe down there. 150. How about the blade stock? No, it's thinner. 133. Interesting. You don't usually see that. But that's okay. I think that's part of what's making it feel so full. What's the length of this guy here? Overall length coming in at just shy. It's like 8 1/8. Yeah, 8 1/8. Blade length. I'm gonna call that 3.5. To the back of the frame, you could say 3.75, but no, 3.5. Cutting edge, 3 1/4. Let's get it right on. A little more. 3.3 maybe. Yeah, very nice. And is there a choke up spot there? You can. This is absolutely, because of how deep this sharpening choil is, yeah, you can absolutely choke up there. So Real Steel does a good job with their execution. This titanium looks nice. I like that we have the Serge logo right here. I don't as much like the big logo and the numbers right here. I kind of wish that was up there, but that's okay. On this side, very good though. Nice presentation. Overall, yeah. A plainer, definitely more of a plain offering. But, I mean, if you visited Serge's website in the past, he offers, you know, a lot of usually very premium stuff, and it comes with a much higher price tag. So this is an interesting offering. I do kind of wish that we had something else going on here. I'm not, I mean, this is like a personal thing, but I'm not the biggest fan of just plain nothing titanium that's flat. Some people are, and obviously this is a preference. At this price point, with the materials used and the way that this is done, it doesn't need something to make it feel like it's worth the money. I just remember the production model that he had released that had that huge, high polished flame anno piece of titanium that was laid in there with the rest of the titanium, and I just thought it looked really cool. But I'm a fan of, you know, things that are a bit busier. A lot of you might be wondering, why no milled clip? And normally I would say that too, and he tells me that it's a purely preference. He doesn't like milled clips at all. He likes this style of clip, which is why you never see, I mean, even on the Rook, it's still just a stamped clip because of the way that it, you know, is shaped. And, you know, it's like I always say, this is my preference too when it comes to function. And if it's going to be a milled clip, it needs to be straight with a kind of rounded underneath the tip. But he likes this, you know, to start here, taper down and swoop and come out to a spoon bill. And functionally, he's correct. Those are the best types of clips. In and out of the pocket is one hand. Clip bill rises to meet your pocket seam thickness. So yeah, steel lock bar insert, which also surely doubles as the over travel stop. Yep, it does. Perfect centering. Very nice. No detent latch or anything like that. How about just a couple of size comparisons real quick, just so you guys can get a decent idea. Let's do Benchmade grip cylinder, in this case the Ritter Hogue. Custom scales can be found at Original Goat and others down in the description. Let's do the Pyrite. There you go. Should we do Deca? Yeah, it's another good one. Well, it's pointless to do the bug out. Maybe 80-20.5. Okay. Yeah, there you go. I think you got a good idea. Interesting stuff. You will get a full comprehensive review of this knife. This is not a review, just an unboxing and first impressions. It is interesting though. I got to decide how I feel about that price tag. I need to find some other knives that are similarly built and see how competitive this price tag is. N690 is not a steel that I see a lot, and it's a steel that we sometimes see, you know, truthfully, you'll see N690 on custom knives that are substantially more expensive. And we see them on Chinese production knives that are a little bit less expensive than this guy. But I need to find out exactly where this sits and then form my opinion after I've carried this for a bit, right? I feel like N690 is more stainless than 154cm, but might not quite hold an edge as long, right? So, not a bad composition at all, though. I mean, Bowler makes it. So, nice, clean grain structure. Okay, that's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Thanks again to Serge Panchenko. I'll link this knife right down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.